That's exactly what this race is about. Throw out everything you know about the form book. Plenty of drivers have gotten one-off victories at the Endurance Cup tracks. Names like John Dipple and Adam Thomas prevailed in the craziness that this circuit provides. So we wonder what will happen in Wisconsin. We will find out together tonight. The Endurance Cup concludes this evening. The Crandon Grand Prix is next. Our venue for this evening is the virtual Crandon International Raceway. Opened in 1970, North American Simulated Auto Racing started visiting this circuit in 2020B. 1 mile in length with 4 corners. Sounds like a NASCAR track. It's not. 1 to the right and 3 to the left. There's plenty of room to play here in Wisconsin. Unique to this track, we will barrel down from the land rush to turn 1 on the starts, and there has been plenty of action there even before we get to turn number 1. Names like John Dipple, Sindre Silva, Adam Thomas, and Josh Klog are former winners here. Our format for NASA Rallycross is as follows. 28 cars, the biggest field at this season, will be split into 4 heat races, 6 laps apiece. The top 2 will transfer to the feature. The winner gets 3 bonus points, and the runner-up gets 2. The rest of our competitors will be funneled into the last chance qualifier semifinal races, 5 laps apiece. The winners will receive 1 bonus point. This sets the grid for the 10-lap feature race where the points are awarded and trophies are handed out. Normally, unique to Rallycross, there's 2 jokers, but here, absolutely 0 jokers at any time. The 27th season of the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge continues tonight on the Automotive Sports Network. With Bryan Sawyer in the production truck, 5-time series champion next to me, Philip Kraus, in the commentary box. My name is Josh Mertz as we welcome you to the Crandon Grand Prix. Our series is brought to you by Overwatch Specialty Service. The only thing more unique than your problem is our solution. For more information, visit osscenter.com. Thank you, Rob Hartland, for all of your support. And our coverage all season is brought to you by NordVPN. If you're worried about hackers stealing your personal information or being tracked online, NordVPN is here to keep you safe with military-grade encryption and advanced security features. It keeps your browsing data and personal data completely private. With over 5,500 servers in 59 countries, you can enjoy fast and secure internet access from anywhere in the world. Plus, their no logging policy means your online activity is never tracked or recorded. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. You can try it risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee. Visit NordVPN.com/ASNTVUSA for up to 63% off a 2-year plan. Also, our cameras for the entire season are provided by TrackCams22.com. And finally, our intro music was produced by our very own Alex Abetti.
Thank you.
Admittedly, I got home 15 minutes ago. My script is not complete. Philip Kraus, you're going to be on track here shortly. What are you expecting today?
Mostly to not make the final, to be honest. It's going to be chaotic with the land rush, and should be fun, to be honest. It's I'm sure it's not what Klog or Ratto are looking forward to for the penultimate round of the season. They wanted something calm and that's something that they were more used to than an off-road track. But if one of them's looking forward to it, it's probably Josh Klog, as he's a top practice right now.
He did also win here, I do believe, last season here in Crandon. Romain Ratto will go over the points. The Frenchman leads 157 points over Josh Klog. He's 2 back. Francois Martel, after that disappointing race in Indianapolis, has fallen 13 points down on Ratto, and Magnus Okenhaug 28 points back. He's had a good couple of races, but the dismal mid-season for the Norwegian has him in 4th. Sabian Ragster 5th. Alex Abetti, defending champion, in 6th. Steve Angie, Cody Crosgrove, Robichaux, and Cryer round out the top 10. Cody Crosgrove locked up the Sportsman Cup last week in Indianapolis. So he has an unassailable 66-point lead over Chris Wetz. Cody Winecki, Rakowski, and Brock Quinn round out the top 5 there. The Constructors' Championship, getting a little spicy. TWR Subi Squad 275 to Woven Planet Gold's 260. And if Abetti and Martel don't have a good race again, it might be Woven Planet's race in the Constructors' Championship. What a turnaround for them, as they were not up in the standings last season. Mika Esport 169, Woven Planet Volkswagen 142, and LRL 136. Disappointed with LRL. They were supposed to have more than one car all season. Manufacturers Championship clinched as well. Subaru 63 points over Ford, and it's a further 30 points back to Volkswagen. So we take a look at Romain Rateau in car number 23. He round turn 1. Technically this is turn 2 in this track. Plenty of room to move, plenty of room to play, but you don't want to hit those berms on the inside. No curbs here like at the normal Rallycross tracks. And we'll see if Romain can start up front and take the fight to Clog, as like we mentioned, Clog potentially better suited for this track. But Romain did win the other Endurance Cup race in Lime Rock, but it's a completely different animal to here in Crandon. Ending his first lap. We'll have to see what the sim does. Ending lap 1 for him, 45.678. That puts him P1 by 0.4 over Steve Angie. The times are beginning to flow in. And currently nobody. Dipple, 45.896. So Dipple has returned in the 34. Justin Robichaux, fastest man, 45.5 in the 93. And Romain might have one last lap. Where is Clog? Clog has not set a lap time in the 199. He did. He goes fastest, 45.172. Some guy named Philip Kraus, P2 at a 45.486. We can take a look at Clog. He's on his second lap. By 0.3 over Kraus in the 199 is the driver from Maryland. And Romain, I'm taking a look off monitor. He has parked it, or he has not. It was a connection issue. He's on his third lap, so I'll have to keep an eye on both of them. Such a healthy field. Justin Robichaux and I had a discussion earlier in the weekend. We said, there's no way we're going to pull this many cars. And plot twist, we pulled that many cars. Francois Martel, 44.994 for the French-Canadian. He goes fastest in car number 12. Clog crosses the line in the 199, 47.3. So he was using that as a cooldown lap for this last lap in qualifying for him. Where is Romain? Romain crosses the line, and it didn't count that lap. So he will be, it looks like, if I'm looking at that right, 7th in the order. And it's going to be down to Clog to see if he can pip the TWR Subi Squad driver of Martel into turn number 3. Misses the apex by quite a margin, but it is multi-lined through this entire track. And Clog will have one corner left in the Subaru for Woven Planet Gold. Touch of the handbrake to get the car to rotate through the corner, off the corner. 45.354. He didn't go fastest, but he still stays second. Looks like Magnus, 45.332, and Robbie Lorille, 45.368. So, as qualifying slowly comes to a close, Francois Martel, a little too late, potentially. I mean, he's still 12 points. Still relatively close if something goes wrong, but it's going to be really hard as Ivanhoe finishing his last lap in the 25. So let's take a look as seating finishes up, as Ragster already finished his run. Clog finished his run. Bodie just crossed the line. I don't think anybody else. It is Ivanhoe with his last lap in the 25. And the Canadian way out wide in turn 3. Over the jump. Notice that he ran the Subaru in these endurance races in the hairpin for the final time. Currently sitting 27th in the 25, I should say. Crosses the line 48.8. So that'll give Francois Martel pole position for heat number 1 in Crandon. Clog, Okenhaug, Lorille, and Philip Kraus. So you will be in heat number 1, my friend.
Oh boy.
How was it out there?
It was pretty much the samey as practice. Just everyone else got quicker and I didn't, because I was stopped practice for a little bit on the same lap time, but Francois pulled out half a second on me.
As finishing up, we'll have heat number 1. I'll let you go do your thing. I wish you luck, my friend, in car number 19. 7 cars for this first land rush. We had Wesley Wickens ask, as a Brit, what the hell's a land rush? We had to explain to him that what the land rush is. And for those of you that are unfamiliar, we start at the top of the hill, everyone in a single file line, over the essentially the whoops in the grass, and technically the turn 1 of the land rush, it's unique.
6 laps.
So, grid for Heat 1, Martel, Kraus, Rateau, Vimont, Rakowski, Robichaud, Rateau. Getting ready. 6 laps in Wisconsin.
You've got 1 gallon left.
Off the line, Martel misses the start in the 12. He is way out back. Leading the field is Romain Rateau. Contact with Rakowski into Martel there in the 12. Into turn 1, Rateau hits the wall. The 23 is around in front of the field. Here comes Martel. And now, Martel, who we thought was not going to start, bowls his way past Vimont. He's back in second. Philip Kraus leads. Exiting turn 1, Martel, Vimont, Robichaud, Rateau, Rakowski. It's Romain and Olivier, that running order of the Rateaus. In turn 3, exiting turn 3, Philip Kraus leads in car number 19. Vimont got very close in the Volkswagen to the Subaru of Martel. 5-time series champion. Kraus holds the lead as we end the first lap here in Wisconsin. Martel, Vimont, Robichaud, Olivier Rateau battling with Rakowski. And that, we'll joke and say that was deliberate from Francois Martel to miss that start, because he went from 0 to hero really quick sitting in a transfer spot. He has to make sure everything goes right for him, and he has to make sure that the 23 of Rateau does not make it through the heat race. As Rateau dispatches Jake Robichaud in the 69, driving for Slapex Racing. Robichaud's going to give it right back to the points leader, shoves him wide in the 69. Rateau does an over-under, comes back ahead of the 69 of Robichaud. Martel up front to the inside of Kraus. Can't get it done as we end the second lap. End the first lap. According to iRacing, that was the first lap, so we're learning together here in Crandon. Martel, Vimont, Rateau, Robichaud, Rakowski, Rateau, the running order. And as my wonderful director, Bryan Sawyer, informs me that it does not count as the first lap because you do not cross the start-finish line. So technically, it's 2 laps as the first lap. Welcome to iRacing and NASA Rallycross. So we'll get a true lap time differentiator here. We'll see where Kraus is. We'll see where Martel is. Martel really deep in turn 4. Kraus runs it wide on corner entry to get the later apex. And the American from Wisconsin, 46.147. Martel, 46.327. Vimont, 46.397. Rateau, 46.298. And then it's Jake Robichaud at a 48.1, but Jess Rakowski at a 46.6. And Olivier Rateau at a 47.8. So 5 of the 7 cars are within the 46-second bracket. As we're going to take cross flags in heat number 1. I recall an Endurance Cup race from, I believe, last season, where Francois Martel, I think it was at Bark River, Martel ran out of fuel. So as we ride on board car number 12 into turn 2, again running the inside line, but Kraus can power his way off of the corner in car number 19. As looking to get MRT's first supercar win since 2020A Phoenix. He won the lights race yesterday that was here on ASN. And the American's certainly trying to get his 25th win in supercars, but there's a long way left to go. And if I have to be selfish, I don't want to be by myself for this entire race. But it looks like that I might be if everything goes to plan for the 19. Romain Rateau has gotten by Kevin Vimont, his satellite teammate, in the 10, so put the 23 up to 3rd. He's got 2 laps to try and catch Francois Martel, but he's got a huge gap to make up. If we look at the timing, the last lap between them, it was basically 3 seconds was the gap. We'll get an update here as Kraus sets a 45.833, 46.2 for Martel, 46.3 for Rateau, so he was a 10th down, 48.2, 48.0. Rakowski 48.5. Jake Robichaud, they're battling. He's battling with Rakowski. This is for the 5th spot. And Olivier Rateau in the 63 in the back of the field. So Kraus was half a second up on Martel. Martel's trying to send it on corner entry, but that's not the fastest way around here. Fast is slow in, fast out, instead of fast in, slow out. And this track, obviously fully dirt. It's not dirt on top of asphalt, and I've said that numerous times. Looks like Martel kind of figured out the line in the 12 as we take the white flag for Kraus. 46.2 to a 46.0 for Martel. 45.9, excuse me, there for Rateau. Fastest of the top 3. And I think he was actually fastest man of all. Rakowski battling Robichaux. Robichaux nearly looped it. And Rateau was fastest man of all that last lap, but I don't think he's going to benefit from this. And will this be an omen that the points leader for the second consecutive week has an issue? Of course, we don't wish that, but anything can happen. We've said it for 11 years in NASA Rallycross. Over the jump for the final time. Looks like Robichaux in the 69 looped it and got caught on the berm. But Philip Kraus will make me be alone in the feature. He wins Heat 1, pole position for Crandon. Transferring as Martel, best of the rest, Romain Rateau to the semifinal. Confirmation on those results. Rateau, Vimont, Rakowski, Robichaux, Olivier Rateau to the semifinal here in Crandon. Phil, you just really want me to be alone today.
Well, I wasn't expecting that at all.
Talk me through that, because Martel didn't take the start, and then Rateau nearly died on the start. So what's the thought process there?
Yeah, I got lucky that Francois didn't really go off the line. I almost killed Romain. I was very terrified for that. And then just managing the gap to Francois for the rest of that.
Clog, Evan McFarlane, Winecki, Angie, Erdman, Ragster, Ivanhoe.
6 laps.
The grid for the second heat race
Okay,
in
Bryan, be
Wisconsin.
ready. Watch for the lights. Green, green, green. You've got 1 gallon left.
Green flag. Angie gets a better start. It looks like that middle section will get a better run as it's on dirt instead of grass, but Clog powers through in the second phase. Clog will take the lead as we exit the land rush, but Angie's got the better run through the corner. Nearly contact with McFarlane. Looked like Ragster. Winecki powers his way through the inside, side by side, nearly contact over the jump. Will he take the outside? Here comes Ragster to the inside. Angie sneaks to the inside as well. Through turn 2 on the start. Remember, this isn't lap 1. Erdman bowls his way through McFarlane, nearly into Angie, last week's winner, and Clog will take the lead still, battling Ragster. One car, it's Angie, sends McFarlane. It looks like in the 0-4. And now we're going to begin the first lap. It's going to be Clog, Ragster, Winecki, Erdman, Ivanhoe, Angie, and McFarlane in the 0-4.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Josh Clog needs in the 199, especially after Romain Rateau didn't transfer through his first heat. He's high, wide, and handsome in the 199. He's already got 2 seconds on Savian Ragster, and we, as you mentioned, this is lap 1 right now because that first lap doesn't count.
Well, technically, you get 7 laps in a heat race. Hopefully these guys, like I kind of alluded to, we didn't have any fuel issues there, and I trust that these guys will know that you basically got to fuel the car for 7 laps. Winecki to the inside of Ragster in the 91. One of the most terrifying things in sim racing is to race a blinking car, and Winecki's gone.
And there he is.
The only thing that Savian Ragster
pull off the move when he couldn't see Savian.
The only thing that Savian Ragster saw was Winecki there, and then he was gone mid-corner. Terrifying. Angie trying to get by Ivanhoe in the 25.
Yeah, he saw Winecki about to fly into his door, and he disappeared just in the nick of time to not throw Savian off too much, because if he had stayed there, I think they were both going to go all the way out wide there. It's really easy to do that.
Benefits to sim racing is that when a car disappears, they don't exist in the sim, so you won't have any issues unless they come back and you teleport into each other. We had that happen on NASCAR 2003 quite a lot.
He sends it in deep again. He's going to try and take the high line. There's extra camber out there, actually, so you can get a better exit out there usually.
I was just about to mention it. For those of you that are new, or for those of you that are old, that have been around, we used to race a track in Las Vegas based on the Coliseum. You'd have the camera on the outside. Can't get it done.
Set him up through here now.
If you have, I'd like for, I think you'd agree with me when I say just run the right rear on that camber to get the car to rotate, and you'd be golden. Through turn 3. A reminder, Cody Winecki is actually, his I rating puts him as a pro driver, but he races in the sportsman class because he doesn't run the rally cars. What does that mean? He races the trucks. He's one of the best guys in the trucks. So running the truck line, and he does it again, Phil, on the outside.
He should have the exit here, and this will set him up for that final corner really well.
Unless
as long as Cody Urban doesn't get there, and he almost does.
Run off the corner for Winecki. Ragster on the inside. Will Winecki, he'll rip the handbrake, run the outside line again. What a
He's not gonna be able to
beautiful
cross.
battle for the transfer
He's gonna be on the
spot
outside again.
in Wisconsin. Ragster blocks him in the air. Winecki runs the inside
Price
yet
runs it
again.
a little bit wide. He's gonna have an opportunity again here. But it looks like he's just gonna sit behind and wait for that hairpin one more time. That's where he's stronger than Ragster, so it makes sense that he'd want to wait for that corner. But how long can he wait? Because Cody Urban's there looking he might have a chance at the second place, Josh.
Former champion 2016A, 2017A. Good here as well. Winecki gives Ragster a bump. Ripping the handbrake. Trying to get the run off
Cody
the corner.
again in the hairpin.
So tricky to get that line right. It's the Cody
Closer
versus
this time. He's
Cody
looking to be
show.
inside this time.
Gives him a
This is
nudge
where
on
it should be.
Sabian. Hugs the line. Will take the spot. Will Ragster get the run off the corner? He
He's trying to get this
will.
whole time, but Ragster's gonna get back to
Oh,
his
contact
inside.
between them. Will Winecki save it? Ragster to the inside. Doesn't care if Winecki saves it or not.
All that work to get that pass done, and it's undone in the corner.
2 laps to go. What wonderful racing here in Wisconsin. People ask me, why are you running these truck tracks with rally cars? This is why. This track, incredible for these rally cars. We haven't missed anything in the back. Erdman, Angie,
He's gonna
McFarlane, and
send it again, this
Ivanhoe.
time up the inside, but he's gonna hit. He hit Savian Ragster. Is he gonna let him back through, or is Ragster's
Ragster
gonna hit him
checks and he
back?
checks himself.
That's gonna bring Cody Erdman through to second.
Ragster crosses the track. Winecki hit the jump. Erdman in second.
Oh my God, Henshi just jumped over Winecki to third.
I hope Bryan caught that because I did not. Now it's going to be a battle for third. Angie, McFarlane, and Ragster. The heat's not over yet, Bryan. We got 1 lap left.
I was gonna say that this battle for third's really gonna matter for seeding for the LCQ, but it doesn't. Everyone just lines up in a row.
That's the normal thing that we would say. Bryan doesn't know what lap
Just
we're
a
on.
ding dong. This is practice for the LCQ for these guys, unless Cody Erdman throws it off the track in the hairpin here.
Clog will win heat number 2 in Crandon. Cody's going to come home to finish second, but McFarlane zooms past Ragster. Will he get the third spot on Angie in the final corner? As Erdman comes home
Close enough,
second.
It looks like.
Angie, best of the rest in third. What a heat race.
We got 2 retirement home cars in the final.
Confirmation. Clog, Erdman, Angie, McFarlane, Ragster, Winecki, Ivanhoe. What could have been for Winecki and for Ragster? Winecki sent it. Ragster turned himself off the front bumper of Winecki. Winecki got caught on that jump. Wow, we still got 2 heats left, Phil.
And we got 2 LCQs, Josh.
Grid for heat 3. Oakenhaug, Robichaux, Dipple, former winner here. Justin Ament, Quinn, Crosgrove, the sportsman champion-elect, and Eric Dubois. As
The track temp is 69.
Brian Sawyer
air
did not
temp
know we
is
were doing Land
64.
Rush, so the
Fahrenheit.
camera's not the greatest. We
6
apologize for
laps.
that.
Get ready.
Otherwise, camera work perfect. We get ready for Heat 3 in Wisconsin.
Green, let's go, let's
Ragster,
go.
or
1
sorry,
gallon remaining.
Oakenhaug looks like he jumped the start just a pinch. Dipple's going to get the better run over his teammate. Crosgrove gets
Crosgrove's gonna get turned.
Comes across into Ament in the 6. So the 2 Subarus come together. Dubois on the outside plows the wall in the 133, take him out of it, and it's an LRL 1-2 after 1 corner, but really just throw everything out. They're not going to win because everyone's going to swap places. Here comes Robichaux in the 93 to the inside of Dipple in the 34. And if there's one guy who's quick and hasn't got a win, it's Justin Robichaux in the 93. Super
Send it
quick
to the
here.
inside.
Dipple to the inside. Oakenhaug
Magnus
tries
doesn't
to
like
run
this.
the truck line off of
There's
the
3 wide,
corner.
Josh.
Sorry, I keep saying Ragster. Oakenhaug way off the track in the 26, and Dipple will take the lead as we begin the first lap here in Wisconsin ahead of Oakenhaug. Robichaux takes the spot at the line, but he gets turned, and they come together in the 93 and the 26. Remember what I said about
Quinn, I think, in the second, Josh.
Quinn's in second, Dubois in the
Dubois,
133.
you said he was out of it. He's in third.
I told you, just throw everything out that you know. Contact with Dubois and Robichaux in the 93. Crosgrove, Oakenhaug, Ament, they're still all going. And John Dipple trying to pull away, Phil.
Yeah, if I had to pick one of the LRL cars to run away in this heat, I wouldn't have picked John Dipple, because Magnus is usually really good at these truck tracks. He's really sendy, but he's usually really fast as well. But unfortunate what happened to him there with that
Dubois
incident.
slices through
What
the
a
middle
move.
on the 26 and the 6, I thought there was going to be some tears shed, but Dubois
sure he
said,
felt there were
hold
tears
my
too,
beer,
folks.
and made the corner.
And this battle for the transfer spot's still right here, Josh, as Justin Robishow's breathing down Brock Quinn's neck, and it's something we don't really mention, but it seems like a lot of people prefer the Super here, but we've got a Beetle in the transfer spot right now, Josh.
As the Volkswagen did win here with Adam Thomas, I believe it was 2021B, with his one and only win in the championship. And John Dipple won here as well in the 34. So Dipple, the winner in 2021B was Thomas, and it was 2020B for Dipple, that first race here.
I didn't even remember that John won here.
Quinn with Robichaux. They are battling for the second spot. Quinn holding that spot. Robichaux sits in third. Crosgrove, Ament, Okenhaug, and Dubois.
As Justin Robichaux's just kind of stalking his prey right here, Josh. He seems to be able to get close, but not close enough to actually pull off a move. We'll have to see if he can get a good run into the hairpin here. As he's going to send it up the inside of Brock Quinn right as I say it. I give him a check, move him out of the way, and move himself up into second.
Remember, the Woven Planet cars and Volkswagen and Subaru, obviously they're teammates, so satellite cars there. John Dipple, let's get a lap time update. Last lap was a 46.0. He just set a 46.3. Robichaux was a 45.8. He just set a 46.3. 47.3 for Quinn. A second down on his teammate.
I think a lot of that would have to do with the overtake that Justin Robichaux pulled on him, because he did door check him out of the way, and that costs you a ton of time when you lose your slide in the middle of the corner like that. Because once you lose your slide, you're just understeering. I had that happen once, not because I contacted my heat, but it just stopped turning, and all of a sudden you're just bleeding time when that happens.
And that's why we'll notice a lot of these guys, if I'm not mistaken, because when I was in the car testing, rip the handbrake before you get to the corner, and then you utilize the all-wheel drive to get the car to rotate through the corner. We just took cross flags for John Dipple halfway in this heat race. It was a 46.330 for Dipple. It was a 331 for Robichaux. John Dipple just set a 46.354. Robichaux again, fastest, 45.9 for the Canadian. Cody Crosgrove, 47.1. So it looks like Magnus and Dubois came together. I'll take a look off monitor. And I think Magnus just parked it. He tried to do a reverse entry and gave up in the 26. It's not like the gridding's too much of an issue, but...
Yeah, the gridding's definitely not an issue, but it will decide which LCQ he ends up in, I believe. So there's still that to think about, but nobody really knows which LCQ you're going to end up in. But I was going to say, Josh, these Lenovo Woven Planet, Renovo Woven Planet Supers, they definitely have a lot of pace in them, because Josh Clogg was just running away in his heat, and Robichaux is clearly the quickest in his. He just doesn't have the time to get to John Dipple in the lead right now.
We take the white flag in heat number 3. Robichaux, once he got clear track, is on a mission, but he will, I think, run out of time unless something goes wrong to the 34 of Dipple. What could have been for the LRL team if they had 2 cars show up for the entire season? They are Constructors Champions in the NASA Rallycross Challenge. They won that championship in 2020A. So the team knows how to win a championship, but it's impossible with 1 car. But what does look possible is Dipple winning his heat race. He's got 1 corner left, and the Briton, former winner here, will win heat number 3. Robichaux
spun! That's going to bring Brock Quinn into it. He's putting in reverse to try to get to the line! He's going to beat him, I think! He's going to beat him to the line!
Into reverse!
Oh my...
Awesome thinking, Justin. Awesome thinking.
Dipple and Robichaux. Best of the rest. Quinn, Crosgrove, Ament, Dubois, and Okenhaug. And ladies and gentlemen, I say that anything can happen in NASA Rallycross. That is a move that I have not seen. Phil, you could back me up. Probably 4 to 5 years.
Have you ever?
It's been a while since I've seen that.
I don't think I remember seeing anything like that in NASA Rallycross.
Grid for Heat 4, and we still got 2 semifinals after this. Lorel, Cryer, Abetty, McKenna, Wickens, Grove, McKenzie. It hasn't disappointed, and like I just said, we still have 3 races before the feature. I love
I
this
think
track.
In this race, we got to look out for that third Woven Planet car of Bodie Cryer. He's another truck driver as we're going to build up to these red lights here.
As we ride on board for the start of Alex Abetti, defending champion, car number 1. We'll see if the dirt's got a better groove than the grass. Green flag. It does not. Abetti off the line. Gets pipped by McKenna, Wickens, Cryer, and Laurel. Laurel in the 213 looks like he'll lead onto the dirt. Into the first corner. To the inside goes Cryer. On Laurel. Contact between them. Nearly shoved into the tires as Abetti sneaks into the third spot. Defending champion. One car over. It's McKenna in the 11, the winner from Barcelona last season. And the 11 is over. In his first start in quite some time, I do believe. Cryer will lead us, as once again, we still haven't started the first lap. Here in Wisconsin, Laurel on the inside of Cryer. Cryer has got to run off the corner, holds the spot. Laurel second, third is Abetti. And if Abetti wants to do anything, he wants to take points off of the Woven Planet cars in the Constructors' Championship as we begin the first lap, Phil. Cryer, Laurel, Abetti, the top 3.
Yeah, and definitely that's what he wants to do, try to take off those points in the Constructors' Championship, because the drivers is looking like a reach for Francois Martel, especially since I stole a point from him in that heat race. Sorry, Francois, and Clog won his, so that's going to make things even harder for Francois and the drivers. But if he can manage to sneak through a transfer spot, as Laurel goes on 2 wheels there, he's going to keep the position. But if he can sneak through and steal this heat win from Bodie Cryer, that's going to be a massive help for that team.
Let me interject here. We remember in Indianapolis, Laurel and Abetti came together. I put Laurel to the back of the feature because of his send on Abetti, which tore up 3 other cars. Do you think Abetti's a better person and won't involve Laurel into his issue, or will he send it a bit too hard?
I don't think Abetti's the type to send it too hard, but we're going to find out here on this lap, I think, Josh, because he's right there behind Robbie Laurel, and it looks like Robbie Laurel's kind of on the ropes a little bit compared to Abetti. Abetti looks a lot more smooth than Laurel right now, as Laurel misses the apex there for that long sweeping left-hand corner.
Abetti hits the berm. So one apex missed and another apex missed. This is for the transfer spot. Wickens, Grove, McKenzie, and McKenna, the remaining running order. Cryer in a different zip code on corner entry there.
Look at the exit, though, Josh. Just rockets away from Laurel in second.
As it's such a good line, but you have to get it right. In turn 4, the top 3 are going to be under a blanket. Let's take a look at lap times as they come through. 46.2, 45.7, 46.0. Laurel's fastest out of the top 3.
I just had to say he was on the ropes. It's the reverse commentator's curse, Josh. You see, that's how you do it. You say someone's doing bad, and all of a sudden they start doing real good.
You're doing real terrible. Did that work?
Yeah, that worked, because I thought I was going to do terrible, and I won my heat race. It worked beautifully on me.
I'm just going to curse you the entire feature, and maybe you'll win. Laurel rips the handbrake deep into the corner. Cryer doesn't run as far wide as he did last lap. Laurel tries to run the inside, but again, Phil, the power off the corner. You get the momentum. It's just like an oval race.
The thing that Bodie Cryer has to be careful of, if Robbie's close enough approaching that corner, Josh, and he tries to run that wide line, Robbie can just pull a slider on him. Kind of something you'd see in dirt oval racing, actually, as Robbie Laurel goes purple once again, another 45.7.
45.7 for the man from Louisiana against the man from Texas, Bodie Cryer, and the German Alex Abetti.
This time. If he can stay this close, he can run that inside line and pull a slider and just do a bit of a block pass, really, on Bodie Cryer, this hairpin, Josh.
Cross flags halfway home in heat number 4. Laurel might send it into this corner. Cryer runs the outside again. Laurel tries to get the power through the corner. He's almost there,
Not
Phil.
Quite close enough.
You would have to do a slide job, as Dale Jr. would say, mid-corner to try and get something done.
It's so weird talking about block passes in car racing, because that's usually something you say in bike racing, Josh, but I think that's what he's got to do to get by Bodie Cryer here.
As I wish there was mud. We'd have a race like Seattle and Supercross on Saturday. Just as fun in the dry here in NASA Rallycross. And if anything goes wrong, who's the beneficiary? Alex Abetti, defending champion, car number 1.
And it looks like Robbie Laurel's a little bit further behind Bodie Cryer this time, and Bodie's going to have a better run on the run to the hairpin, so I think it's going to be a last lap move, if anything. But if I'm Robbie Laurel, I want to just take the transfer spot as he gets massively sideways in the 213.
He's going to try and follow Cryer. He tries to go under, a little bit earlier of an apex on Cryer. Did Laurel in the 213.
And you saw that on the exit, Josh. That earlier apex cost him so much in the late acceleration phase, because you're still having some lateral slip in your tire, so you just can't put the power down the way you want to as we start the last lap.
As Bodie Cryer, excuse me, there has won in the NASA Rallycross Challenge. I think it was Bark River last season in the 05. Larill has not won. Alex Abetti, 5 wins. So Larill is sandwiched between a champion and 2 race winners. And he's got really 2 corners to make something happen.
Yeah, and I don't think he's close enough, Josh. I think he's just going to settle for the transfer spot. As I say that, he's going to throw it in there pretty deep, but it's not going to be enough for the 213. And it looks like as long as Bodie Cryer doesn't have an incident in the 05, he's going to take our E4 win.
Let's take a look. Will Abetti send it on the 213 to get some payback on Larill? Final
He's
corner.
send it.
He sends it. Larill issue.
Larill let him have it.
Cryer wins Heat 4.
slowdown.
Abetti wins, or sorry, transfers. Best of the rest, Larill. As Larill, Wickens, Grove, McKenna, and McKenzie to the semifinals. And maybe that was a smart move from Larill. Instead of getting sent, just let him have it. Maybe.
I don't think he was going to get sent. I think that was more of a, I'm really sorry for Atlanta. I want to let you have this transfer spot move, because I didn't see him get a slowdown anywhere. He just moved off the racing line and didn't carry any speed through the corner. Didn't even try to get back at Alex Abetti.
As, we're still, actually, I'm corrected there. I thought we weren't done. McKenna and Grove crossed the line, and we're having a ding-dong in turn 3.
This is going to be a big LCQ, Josh.
10 cars. What? Are you kidding me? 10 cars?
Not just 10 cars. Romain Rateau's in it as well, Josh. That's the big deal here.
Rateau, Quinn, Vimont, Crosgrove, Robichaux, Ament, Rateau, Dubois, Rakowski, Okenhaug. We could ride on board with someone, but I'm telling you, we're going to have to probably stay from high above to take a look at this chaos that is going to be the Land Rush in the first semifinal. By the way, only the winner transfers in this heat race. Getting ready. 5 laps. Green flag. Crosgrove jumps the start. Just a pinch. Vimont's got the better start. Off the line. Over the jumps. For the first time, Rateau surges on the inside and the points leader right where he needs to be as we go into turn 1. 1 car on the outside. It looks like it's Magnus in the 26. Contact with Rateau and Dubois in the back of the field. It was Ament with Crosgrove nearly contact with them. Vimont sits in 3rd. Rateau holds the lead as we begin the start. I would say lap 1. We haven't started that yet. Okenhaug on the outside. High, wide, and hands. Will he take the spot? They're side by side over the jump. Contact between them nearly into turn 3. Okenhaug powers his way through the corner. Rateau gonna have to try and do a block pass. Can't get it done. Off the road.
Magnus off the road. That's
It's over. And over for the second consecutive week. 1 car around is Vimont. Into the wall is Okenhaug. And at the end of the beginning, of the first lap, Cody Crosgrove leads.
I don't think it can be overstated how massive that is, Josh. Because Clogg's in the final and Rateau is looking like he's going to finish last in his LCQ race after being turtled there in the 23.
That will be
he's already towed in the 23.
Place. 0 points. Crosgrove, contact with Okenhaug. Into Rakowski in the 999.
More contact with the men.
Huge crash with the men.
In the second. Where did he come from?
Giving me a lot to review tomorrow.
I'm going to take a quick look and see what happened with Okenhaug and Crosgrove there, Josh, as it looks like
I don't know why you
Crosgrove got
that,
past him, but then Crosgrove just threw it into the side of the 26.
As Okenhaug leads at the end of the first lap, how things can change. Driver chat has been disabled from Justin Robichaux as these guys not happy. The Mika cars are both in the pit lane. A terrible race for the French constructor. They will bring home 0 points if it ends right now like this.
I see why that counter send happened. Magnus doored Crosgrove out of the way the corner before. So tempers are definitely flaring towards the Norwegian driver in the 26. Because he's
former race winner. Okenhaug leads. Robichaux second. Quinn in 3rd. Let's get a reset of this running order. We do have 1 more semifinal left, and it's going to be another 10 cars. As let's, like I said, get a reset. Okenhaug, Robichaux, Quinn, Crosgrove, Rakowski, Ament, Vimont, and Dubois battling.
And we know that Cody Crosgrove and Brock Quinn both have a bit of pace here. Crosgrove showed it at the start of this LCQ, and he was in the lead, and Brock Quinn in that battle with Justin Robichaux, where he got beat by a car that was driving backwards across the start finish line, which we didn't think was going to happen. But it's not over yet for Magnus till the Fat Lady sings. There's still 3 laps of racing to do.
You know what's crucial is
Jake Robichaux looks like he almost spun there. Sorry, Josh, as Brock Quinn's going to look to his inside for second.
Rateau comes out of the pit lane, lets Quinn and Robichaux go. He is not going to be pleased in the 23. This also, remember, Rateau won in Lime Rock the first round of the Endurance Cup. This is the second and final round, so that gives the Endurance Cup not to Rateau in the 23.
Yeah, Rateau's just out here trying to gain a position real quick, because he has moved up to 9th place in this LCQ, passing Olivier Rateau, who has a toe as well in the 63.
We're coming to 2 laps to go. Okenhaug, Quinn, Robichaux, the top 3. And remember, only the winner will transfer out of this race. We look for a moment, trying to find a battle. It's been chaotic all race long. Rakowski, Crosgrove, Rakowski, that's 4th and 5th. Jake Robichaux to the inside of Quinn, sends it in the 69 to the 005. Can't make anything happen there.
Rakowski tried to send it on the 18 at Crosgrove and wasn't able to make it work as well. There's still 4 places in a row up for grabs here. It's probably not going to be the feature for any of these drivers, but points are on the line.
Rateau, I think, well, he's not super pleased, and I couldn't tell you what happened in this. We talk about Josh
goes wide in the 18. That's going to promote Jess Rakowski alongside. Sorry, Josh, to interject there. But they're going to be side by side into the hairpin.
Contact between them on corner entry.
Rakowski's going to send it to the inside, do a bit of a block pass. That's what I was talking about, Josh.
What a great move. Bang it off the corner. Crosgrove uses her up on corner exit.
That's going to promote Justin Ament as well.
And Rakowski slides it. Can she save it into the wall?
Just
nearly?
Oh,
Here comes Vimont into his teammate.
What just happened there?
As we got so caught up with what happened, that was the end of the LCQ. Apologies there, but Okenhaug wins as Quinn, Robichaux, Crosgrove, Ament, Rakowski, Vimont, Dubois, Rateau. There's Angie, Larill, McFarlane, Wickens, Ragster, Grove, Winecki, McKenna, Ivanhoe, and McKenzie. That is the grid. And apologies if there was any naughty language on our driver chat, as tempers flaring, of course, here in Crandon. Another semifinal. 2 KES cars in this race. Green flag. Ragster got a better jump off the line. One car going way wide. Over the jumps. Angie surges into both KES cars. Sorry, Larill comes across.
God. There's like 7 cars out, and we haven't even made it to the first quarter, Josh.
McFarlane, McKenzie, Larill, Steve Angie, Ivanhoe, McKenna, they are both back in the pit lane. Matt Grove sits in 3rd. Steve Angie takes the lead.
Winecki leading from Cody Winecki in the 903. And as you mentioned, a truck driver, so we'll have to see if he can do anything with Angie. Obviously, Angie got unfortunate in his heat race, so we'll have to see what happens between these two, because they're both fast cars, Josh.
As there is craziness happening in driver chat right now. Justin Robichaux has to play police officer.
Off the side of my screen, Wesley Wickens doing barrel rolls in the 51. Sorry, I just wanted to say that real quick, because he had at least 10 flips.
There's so much going on. It's so hard for even me to keep up, so apologies there. 28 cars on this track, and you know, Phil, I considered having this be like Lime Rock, where all 28 cars started the race.
I'm going to interrupt you again real quick, because we got a battle for 3rd place. Never mind, it ended right as I said it, and Matthew Crow's going to throw into the rocks. That can't be the suspension, Josh.
That's going to look like Kyle Larson's car after that wreck in Talladega.
Oh, jeez.
We look at the top 2 as we end the first lap. Steve Angie trying to pick up right where he left off in Indianapolis last week.
Yeah, he's definitely taken the long road, too, at getting through the LCQ, but as we've said already a few times today, Everyone's on an equal playing field when we get to the feature. Everyone's just lined up in a row. It's whoever manages those bumps the best.
As forgive me, I have to combat people in the Discord chat. So Phil, if you want to handle some calls for a little bit.
I got you, Josh. As it looks like Steve Angie's going to manage this gap for now. He's taken the high, wide, and handsome line that Cody Wienecki wanted to take. So if he does ever get there, it'll be really interesting to see how he's going to manage that overtake. Because the line he's preferring is the line that's being taken by his competitions. The gap sits still at a second as we start lap 3. Further back, it looks like everything's pretty calm. As Angie runs it wide in the 7, that's going to give Cody Wienecki a chance to shoot up the inside in the 903, and they might just about be side by side. No, Angie clears him as we go into the long turn 2, and Wienecki hits the berm, and he's going to spin out, and that's going to give Steve Angie a perfect shot to make the feature. And what else that's going to do is that's going to promote Savian Ragster into second, and I think Steve Angie might have a slowdown because he lost a lot of time to Ragster there. Not through any contact or anything, but the gap's down to 2 seconds between the top 2. I don't know if Ragster will have enough time or if he has the pace. Off a last lap, Angie was 0.3 of a second quicker, but things can change lap by lap in NASA.
I'm going to publicly tell you that was incredible. I should go away for a week. I don't even have to do my job.
But I want to drive.
Philip Kraus. That was great. 2 laps to go for Steve Angie in car number 7, leading over Savian Ragster. I had to put a bunch of fires out in the Discord chat. Everybody's angry at Magnus. Gear? No, I kept forgetting it. Please don't tell my boss. I forgot it in the truck. Please don't call OSHA.
I'm gonna have to tell your boss, Josh. You sell this equipment. You gotta wear it too.
I do, just not right now. I'll have to go get my hard hat for the feature.
Speaking of the heat towards Magnus, it's still going off in the driver's chat in session, Josh. So I'm sure there'll be a lot to look at after this weekend for sure.
It'll be certainly fun for me. My wife will have a great time as I'm not going to be hanging out with her tomorrow. As Steve Angie...
We're sorry, Chloe.
Steve Angie takes the white flag in semifinal B.
Robbie Larill, if he didn't have that incident at the start, Josh, he's been flying these last 2 laps. Each lap, 5 and 6/10 of a second quicker than Angie, but he just doesn't have the time.
I might have mentioned last week that Robbie Larill went to the school of the Philip Kraus School of Driving Angry. He's fastest, but he's going to run out of time.
Yeah, we saw that at Lucas Oil last week when he ripped it on the e-brake on a Betty, but I think he's regretting letting a Betty through to transfer into the feature in that heat race for sure now, Josh, as Angie's going to round the final corner and take the final spot on the grid for tonight's feature.
Our 12th seed, best of the rest, is Ragster, followed by Larill in 14th. It was a battle for 16th when Wienecki got Grove. Then it's McFarlane.
Sorry, Cody, you just appeared out of nowhere,
Wickens,
dude.
Ivanhoe, and Jim McKenzie.
You're good. Good racing, buddy.
Wow.
Heck yeah, man. That was some real good racing.
I'm going to get your final thought here your prediction before you go racing. But as we finish the second semifinal, we're going to step away for just a few moments here on the Automotive Sports Network. Get prepared. Go get my hard hat. Either way, we'll be back shortly.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to NordVPN.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
inside, nearly 3 wide of Matt and Palacio. Front bumper of a Betty down to turn 2. Clog takes the lead. The Real still has him jokered inside. Clog on McKenna. Contact between them. We welcome you back to round 235 of the championship overall and round 9 of the 27th season of the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge here in Crandon with Bryan, Sawyer, the production truck, and 5-time series champion Philip Kraus supposed to be next to me. He's starting from pole position. My name is Josh Mertz as we are live on the Automotive Sports Network. And what chaos that we have been witnessing all evening long. Phil, before you run for the feature, give me a prediction.
Josh Clog in 199.
Aside from you winning.
I don't predict me winning in the slightest, Josh. I got lucky in my heat. I don't have much speed.
As just a reminder, our series is brought to you by Overwatch Specialty Service. The only thing more unique than your problem is our solution. For more information, visit osscenter.com. We thank you, Rob Hartland, so much for your support of the NASA Rallycross Challenge. And our coverage tonight brought to you by NordVPN. For up to 63% off a 2-year plan, visit nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA. Our cameras for the entire season provided by TrackCams22.com, and our intro music produced by our very own Alex Abedi. So, best case scenario from Romain Ratteau, as he got eliminated, scored 0 points here in Wisconsin, is if Josh Clog finishes last, it would give him a 10-point lead over Ratteau. The big beneficiary here would be Francois Martel. He has to have everything go right for him, the French-Canadian, and Clog to go wrong, the American from Maryland, to potentially steal this championship. And I was mentioning before the chaos began that Josh Clog always there, kind of lingering in the background, because he won his first championship in 2022A in that same fashion, as we had Luke Kraus here, and Luke Kraus did not appear for the last couple races, and Clog, whether you say lucked into a championship or fairly won it, given the circumstances, it's what Clog did all season. Just kind of hanging out and picking up the pieces. So, Philip Kraus, muted. I'll be by myself. I'm actually going to mute for like 5 seconds, get enough water in my wonderful body, and then we'll go green here in Wisconsin. Thank you all for joining us on the Automotive Sports Network as the grid for the Crandon Grand Prix. Philip Kraus, 5-time champion, on pole. Josh Clog, 2022A champion in second. John Dipple, former winner here. Bodie Cryer, former Endurance Cup champion. Francois Martel on the outside looking into the point scenario. Cody Erdman, dual champion in the series. Robichaux, former sportsman champion. Alex Abedi, former defending champion. Magnus Okenhaug, Steve Angie. 10 cars. 10 laps, technically 11 laps if you count that lap 1 does not begin until we cross the start-finish line. And I apologize if it goes silent for my call every once in a while as we get ready in Crandon. We go green in Wisconsin, off the line, everybody kind of even. Cryer takes the spot for the moment. Kraus pulls ahead on the inside. Clog side by side with him. Exiting the land rush, high wide enhancement on the outside. What? It's Martel around in the 12. Clog to the inside of Kraus. Martel's back going again. TWR in 9th and 10th. Into the inside is Cryer. Woven Planet 2-3. Here comes Magnus in the 26. trying to get another victory in that 26 car. It's been so long for him, about a season. Kraus leads us into turn number 3, ahead of Clog, ahead of Cryer, ahead of Magnus. On the outside, Kraus takes the spot, holds the lead. Magnus tries to check the 0-5, can't get it done. Through turn 3, through turn 4 to begin the first lap here in Wisconsin proper. Philip Kraus, former champion, leads ahead of Josh Clog by a car length. Then it's Cryer, then it's Okenhaug, then it's Dipple. Okenhaug nudges Cryer out of the way. Clog tries to do the same to Kraus. Side by side, Cryer gets the spot back, it looked like for the moment, on Okenhaug. Dipple lingering back in 5th. Robichaux, Abedi, Erdman, Martel, Steve Angie in 10th. Car length between Kraus and Clog. It is lengthened. Make it 2. Make it 3. Entering, turn 3. Okenhaug gets nudged by the 0-5 of Cryer. Sends it into the corner. And I'm not going to have a fun time reviewing this tomorrow as Okenhaug sends him. Robichaux nearly gets hit by Okenhaug in the 26. Battle for the lead. Clog, to the inside of Kraus. Abedi, it was Abedi. He sent it on Cryer in the 0-5, put the defending champion to 5th. The LRL cars combusting over the jump for 3rd and 4th. Contact for the lead. It's Kraus versus Clog. Former champions dueling it out over the jump, exiting turn 1. Rounding turn number 2. Don't hit the berm on the left-hand side. Over under is Kraus in the 19. Okenhaug sits in 3rd. We're not going to keep our eyes off this battle for the race lead. Clog way out wide. Block passing is the 19 of Kraus. Okenhaug in 3rd. Abedi 4th. Robichaux in 5th for the moment, but Dipple got the spot. Can Clog over under again? Through turn 4. They make contact in the corner. Clog takes the lead, but Kraus powers his way back on the outside, given the inside for turn number 1. Will Clog take the spot? Kraus block passes him, into the corner. Clog holding the outside. Car length. It was half a car length. It's even now. There. On Kraus versus Clog. Okenhaug holds the 3rd spot. Clog tries to take the lead. They are not getting away from each other for the race lead, and we've got a ding-dong for potentially the podium spot between Okenhaug, Robichaux, Dipple, Cryer, Erdman. Everybody's battling for this podium, and the top 2 still battling. Kraus now behind Clog. Clog trying to take the spot. As we take a look from high above. Let's get a running order update. Clog leads, Kraus 2nd, 3rd is Robichaux, 4th Okenhaug, 5th Dipple, 6th Cryer, 7th Erdman, 8th Martel, 9th Abedi, and 10th Angie. Abedi had some issues in car number 1. He goes from 4th to last. Apologies, it's very hard to keep track of everything here in Crandon. Clog was half a second up on Kraus that last lap. Robichaux sits in 3rd if anything goes wrong with the top 3. And Magnus not making many friends, including me. And I apologize that I keep mentioning that I have to look over everything of this race tomorrow. And if everything is going to plan like I think it will, we might not see the 26 in the feature results. But I have to look at it separately tomorrow. Kraus to the inside of Clog, trying to do what he talked about earlier on. Clog leads. Kraus 2nd. Robichaux battling with Magnus for 3rd. The Canadian trying to get, I believe, his first podium, maybe his 2nd. Forgive me there, I can't remember exactly. But Dipple hounding his teammate and Robichaux as we take cross flags in Wisconsin. Cryer, Erdman, Martel, Abedi, Angie. That running order has not changed. And Kraus was a 10th up on Clog that last lap. The gap last lap, according to timing, was 0.8 of a second, and Kraus has to find something special to take the fight to the 2022A champion. And Robichaux, the sportsman champion from that season, holding the podium. Magnus holds the inside in the 26. Robichaux's going to get the run off the corner and takes the spot back in the 93. car length between them. Let's take a look at lap times as we cross the line to end lap number 6. 45.5 to a 46.0, Clog versus Kraus. 46.4 for Robichaux, 46.1 for Robichaux, 46.4 for Magnus, 46.6 for Dipple as he blinks out for a moment, 46.1 for Cryer. So third on back, stuck. And I don't want to blame it on anybody. I think it's just the nature of you can't get away because everybody is on top of each other. And Kraus fighting hard to try and get back to the race lead. The gap last lap was 1.2 seconds. It was 0.8 the last time around. As we thank all of you for hanging out and joining us on the Automotive Sports Network. Couple laps left in this feature race. Josh Clog, former champion, leads. He ran a 45.689, 45.759 for Philip Kraus, the Wisconsin native, getting closer lap time-wise, but he still lost a little bit of time. Gap is 1.3 seconds. Magnus to the inside of Robichaux in the 26 on the 93. They're battling for third. Dipple sits in fifth. The running order has not changed in the back of the field, and Josh Clog needs this in order to solidify that championship lead. With Martel down the order and Rateau out of the race. Clog, different line through the corner, thought he had some issues. Okenhaug checks the 93 for the third spot. Canadian's not going to like that. In the 93, we're going to come to 2 laps to go for Josh Clog in the 199. Robichaux to the inside of Magnus again for the third spot. Last time around, Clog was 0.2 faster than Kraus that last lap. This is going to come down to the podium spots. I bet he gets turned from the 9th spot, or turns himself, I should say. I'll take a look fairly quickly. He looped it when he made contact with Cryer in the 05, and he has parked it in car number 1. Magnus slides it in turn 2, saves it, but he's going to lose that time to Robichaux. Kraus trying to find something to make his way around Clog, but I don't think it's going to happen. There's going to be 1 lap, 1 mile left to go here in Wisconsin. Josh Clog currently tied for 11th all-time on the wins list with Tanner Smith and Jakob Rafos. If he can bring this home, he will be tied with 10th all-time with Dylan Smith with 7. Still got a lap to go. Robichaux comfortably in third. The LRL cars battling for best of the rest, tentatively, in 4th and 5th. Martel, Cryer, Erdman, Angie, the remaining running order. Half a lap to go for Josh Clog in the 199. Final couple of corners for Kraus. He was 0.2 up that last lap, but I think it might have come too late. Too little too late for the former champion. Final corner, Josh Clog wins again. He wins in Wisconsin ahead of Kraus. Give him his 7th career win. Robichaux on the podium in the 93. Finally something good for the Canadian. 4th, tentatively Magnus. 5th, Dipple. 6th, Martel. Erdman, Cryer, Angie, and
Is there like
Abedi.
a target on my back?
Running order.
I don't understand.
We get confirmation of those results. And a reminder, 12th down the order in the even spots, or sorry, odd spots. It was Quinn, Robichaux, Crosgrove, Ament, Rakowski, Vimont, Dubois, Rateau. Then the second semifinal, Ragster, Larill, Winecki, Grove, McFarland, Wickens, Ivanhoe, McKenzie, and McKenna. Wow. I don't think Josh Clog is going to be around for an interview. Maybe he will. Let me get him up here. Josh Clog, I guess. Philip Kraus, do you want to interview the guy that you just raced for the win?
Why'd you have to beat me? That's my only question.
Bill, that was an excellent race. I'm so glad that it happened that way. That was icing on the cake. Great race.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. Once you got by, I wasn't really completely over yet either, because I was slower than you, but it was like a 10th a lap, so I still had that little bit of hope clinging on, like maybe you'll make one mistake and I can do a little send. But yeah, that was really fun going, man. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the championship for you as well, so congratulations.
Ooh, we'll see.
Wouldn't call it or words are hard. I was by myself for the last 10 minutes.
It's very close, if I remember right.
It's going to be interesting.
If he finished 10th, what it was going to be, but he won, and that's a lot more points. So, yeah.
We'll get unofficial points here shortly, but Josh, I want to tell you, or ask you really, I mean, what's the thought process knowing that Romain is essentially last? Martel had some issues. You might sneak your way to a second championship here.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but I felt good going into this race. I know the truck tracks pretty well, comfortable on them. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Is anyone you'd like to thank for yet another win?
Phil, for the great race.
I'd just like to say before he goes, he was my prediction to win the race. Therefore, I still won.
Not wrong.
Split the win.
Good run, Josh. And we'll see you next week in Phoenix.
All right.
As we completely lost track of the sportsman stuff with how chaotic it was, I want to mention Cody Crosgrove. What is this, round 9? Forgive me, I don't even know. I think Cody Crosgrove has 7 sportsman wins, or 6. He finished second in the other races, sportsman-wise. I don't even know where he finished, but Brock Quinn wins in sportsman for his first win. So I'll actually try and bring in Brock Quinn here shortly. That's going to be your interview, because I am going to have a party with the guy that got a podium, Justin Robichaux. What the hell happened, man?
Man, you can't see it, but I'm pumping my fist right now. Oh, that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I just kind of got into a groove, and we got it done. We got on the podium, man.
That was like, you're gonna watch this back. You and your old man, you guys are gonna watch this back. You're gonna have no clue what was happening. I don't even know what was happening. All I know is you're sitting in third, battling with Magnus. Won't go into detail of what's gonna happen with Magnus, but what? Wow.
Oh, wow was right. I mean, Magnus was giving it to me for sure. I feel like he might have let up a little bit early, just for some kind of tangling we got earlier on into the night. But if that's the case, I mean, thanks for that, Magnus. He didn't really have to do that, but he gave it to me hard at times. He was really just pumping it in there, and I had good runs on some corners, and we just kind of worked at that groove and kept that line going, and we managed to stay out front and capitalize on some mistakes and hold on to it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But oh wow, it was crazy. I think at one point it seemed like there were some people out to get some people, and I was in the middle of it. And oh, what a wild race! Wild.
Wow. Anyone you'd like to thank for? I think this might be your first podium, if not your second, in NASA Rallycross. Anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, my family, of course, my beautiful wife for letting me do this, and my son, and Woven by Toyota for all their support through everything we've done, all our racing, and we're hope we're doing you proud this season. We've got a solid team. I mean, Josh was up there P1, and Bodie struggled a bit. He kind of got into some stuff, but all 3 of us up there and battling for points, and we're really close in that race. I'm excited to see how things are going to shake out. So. It was a fantastic event.
Unofficial. I'd like to think you guys are going to be in the points lead potentially, given the double podium for Woven Planet compared to Subi Squad having a bad race. So what a turnaround for Woven Planet. You guys, I think, were 4th or 5th in the Constructors Championship last season. And I mean, no disrespect, terrible in the first couple of seasons compared to now. And it's just such a wonderful turnaround for you guys. So great run, my friend. And we'll see you next week in Phoenix.
Thank you so much. Have a good night, guys.
We're going to bring in one last interview. It's going to be Brock Quinn for the sportsman win as he broke Cody Crosgrove's stranglehold. Philip Kraus, all yours.
Yeah, Brock Quinn, amazing result for you today in the Sportsman Championship. As Josh alluded to before he brought you in, I'm pretty sure this is your first sportsman win. Cody Crosgrove's kind of been hogging those all season long, so how's it feel to get your first?
I want to be honest, I didn't even know that I won. But it feels pretty good now that I know.
If it makes you feel any better, I didn't know either until Josh said it about a minute back. But yeah, really well done on that. It was too hectic to really keep up with it. We were too busy watching people bang off each other. There was like a 4-car battle for a transfer spot at some point. Like, I completely lost track of sportsmen. The only thing I kept track of is Crosgrove got hit by Magnus in an LCQ, and after that, it all went blank. But yeah, for you, honestly, you had really good pace today, and I think if a few things had changed, you might have been able to make the feature. You definitely had strong pace. You were just about there, but maybe not enough to make the feature. How was it? How did you enjoy the truck tracks?
Oh, it was a ton of fun, man. The racing today was awesome. I think I'm still a little bit choked watching Justin drive away in reverse to take the last spot.
That was definitely a highlight. Because we were saying it when it happened. I don't think I've seen that in like 4 or 5 years. Josh was saying the same thing, but yeah. I would have felt heartbroken too if that happened to me. I'm sorry if I'm rambling on a little bit because I still have adrenaline going on from the feature.
Yeah, I was like disappointed and laughing at the same time. It was a mix of emotions.
Yeah, it's hard to really hide the giggles when you see someone in front of you. They spin and you just see them pop into reverse Terry, just run it across the line like that's really quick thinking by Justin, and it paid off for him because he managed to finish third in the feature. But you won the sportsman class. So is there anybody you'd like to thank? Any partners?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Woven Planet. Obviously, we got 2 teams. So congratulations to Justin getting through and the rest of the guys as well. It was a good race.
So that means that's a double win. And I don't think that's happened. We're gonna do this live. I don't want to say what the meme is, but we're going to do it live really quick. So if I go to the race breakdown, I think that is the first clean sweep. If you consider, that's probably the first clean sweep since the NASCAR 2003 days when MRT had 2 teams. So Woven Planet wins Sportsman with Brock Quinn. Great run, my friend. And Woven Planet double podium for the feature with Robichaux and Clog. So great run for you and your team, Brock. We'll see you next week in Phoenix.
Thanks, guys.
Unofficially, super unofficial, Bryan Sawyer just gave me some points. Okay. 183, Josh Clog. 159 for Francois Martel. That's a 24-point gap. That is incredible. What's the joke? The turntables?
Yeah, how quickly the turntables, Josh. I was calling you Clog for a second because I was reading his name.
I can't fathom how this race we talked about in the Open, it's a wild card.
It really was.
Clog goes to the points lead, 24 ahead of Francois Martel. For those of you that are new, the maximum amount of points is 28. So what that means is Francois has to have a perfect race and Clog literally finish 18th. That means not transfer.
For Rateau. Rateau can still get it as well if Clog doesn't score points, and we saw that can happen. So
wow,
it's not over till it's over. I was like, oh yeah, I bet Clog's got it. No, not yet.
Let me pull that graphic back up because I think Brian's still got it. I don't have the internal feed. Apologies there. So Josh Clog 183, Francois Martel 159, Romain Rateau 157, Magnus tentatively 144, Sabian Ragster 128. Sportsman has been locked up forever. 83 points. Crosgrove over Wetz. Wienecke and Wetz, that'll be a good battle for the second spot. And remember, even when we split to that second series next season, Crosgrove's going to have to run in the overall, so it'll open up the door to whoever comes next in the Sportsman Championship. I've probably gotten your final thought 9 times with how chaotic it is, but just give me one final thought and I'll wrap this up.
Wow. NASCAR Rallycross never fails to disappoint, Josh. Every week it seems like something new happens. And today we saw someone reverse across the finish line to make a feature, and then they get a podium out of it.
I say it every single week. Exactly. I say it every single week that anything can happen, and it usually does. And that is exactly why. A couple programming notes on the Automotive Sports Network. Be sure to join us next Sunday for the finale of NASA Rallycross Lights from Phoenix. You'll join Bryan Sawyer and myself for that race. That should be fun. And then next Monday, the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge season finale from Phoenix. It'll be 9 p.m. Eastern Time, ASN Live, 9 p.m. Eastern, ASN On Demand on Sunday for the lights as well. Just a reminder, our series is brought to you by Overwatch Specialty Service. The only thing more unique than your problem is our solution. For more information, visit OSScenter.com. Thank you so much to Rob Hartland for your support all season. Our coverage also brought to you by NordVPN. Get up to 63% off a 2-year plan by visiting nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA. Our cameras for the entire season provided by Track Cams 22. And finally, our intro music was produced by our very own Alex Abetti. Good thing damage was off this evening because every single car would have gone to the junkyard as the checkered flag falls on the evening. From all of us at the Automotive Sports Network, from Philip Kraus and Bryan Sawyer, my name is Josh Mertz, as we hope you enjoyed today's coverage of the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge from Crandon. Congratulations to Josh Clogg, and be sure to join us in 1 week in Phoenix. He's got one hand on the trophy. But until then, so long, everyone.